Pennywise. Georgie doesn't stumble into Pennywise's trap by accident. Pennywise makes danger look safe first.
Hiya, Georgie.
October 1988. Young Georgie Denbrough chases his paper boat through the rain until it disappears into a storm drain. Pennywise smiles from below, speaking gently and making the darkness feel strangely welcoming.
Well, I'm Pennywise the dancing clown.
Too close. That was the trap.
Take it, Georgie.
Georgie reaches forward, but Pennywise tears off his arm and drags him into the sewer. And somehow that's even scarier than the attack itself. By then, Georgie never really had a chance. Pennywise doesn't rely on strength. He twists curiosity into confidence, then turns that confidence into the perfect trap before striking. Pennywise's deadliest victories begin long before anyone realizes the game has already started. Winter doesn't create every monster. Sometimes it simply leaves you alone with one. Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance doesn't arrive at the Overlook as a monster. The hotel waits until he becomes one.
Here's Johnny.
Winter. Overlook Hotel closes for the season. Jack Torrance arrives with Wendy and Danny, hoping isolation will help finish his novel. But empty halls slowly feed darkness inside him. Lloyd pours drink. Grady offers excuse. You can almost watch Jack disappear in real time. Only now does the hotel's real influence become impossible to deny. Jack smashes through the bathroom door with an axe, then hunts Danny through the hedge maze until the freezing night claims him. The Overlook never forces Jack's hand. He willingly embraces its influence instead. Jack is lost long before the snow buries him. Grief never leaves as we hope. Sometimes it demands one impossible chance to change everything. Gage Creed. Some losses refuse to stay buried. That's when grief becomes dangerous. Ludlow, Maine. Gage Creed is killed by a truck, leaving Louis unable to accept the loss. Hoping to undo the impossible, he buries his son in the Micmac burial ground despite warnings. Gage comes back. Something isn't right. You can feel this ending slipping beyond his control. Only then does Louis realize what he has brought home. Gage kills Judd with a scalpel, then kills Rachel when she reaches for him. Louis kills the thing that came back as Gage. Then he buries Rachel too, convincing himself she will return differently because she has not been dead as long. Grief keeps convincing Louise that love can rewrite death, even after warnings prove otherwise. Some losses demand far more than anyone is willing to give. Obsession doesn't always arrive shouting. Sometimes it smiles, speaks softly, and asks you to stay. Annie Wilkes. The accident doesn't trap Paul Sheldon, his rescuer does. Snowbound, Colorado. Best-selling author Paul Sheldon wakes inside Annie Wilkes' isolated farmhouse after a devastating car crash. Annie nurses his injuries with remarkable care, but her kindness slowly hardens into something far more dangerous. She finishes his manuscript. She sees misery die, and honestly, her calm voice makes it even worse.
I thought you were good, Paul. But you're not good.
The next decision changes Paul's life forever.
Now don't be afraid.
Annie places a wooden block between Paul's ankles, then smashes them with a sledgehammer so he can never leave. She insists it's necessary because misery deserves another ending. Annie never mistakes obsession for cruelty. She truly believes she's showing love. Obsession can convince someone they're saving you while destroying everything. Some monsters keep you in place. The next one waits until no one can hear you scream. The Moonlight Man. Jessie isn't trapped because of the handcuffs. She's trapped because nobody knows she's there. Remote Alabama. Gerald Burlingame dies of a heart attack during a getaway, leaving Jessie handcuffed to the bed with no way to call for help. Night falls. Reality slips. A towering figure appears in the doorway. He barely moves. That image stays with you because it barely moves. The final reveal changes everything you were seeing. Jessie degloves her own hand to escape the cuffs. Later, she learns the Moonlight Man is Raymond Joubert, a grave robber who had been standing in her bedroom all along. The scariest part isn't what Jessie imagined. It's realizing the figure was real. Some fears become harder to escape after they're proven real. Not every predator looks monstrous. Some smile calmly while children suffer. Rose the Hat. Rose the Hat turns pain into food. She just makes it look calm. Across America, Rose leads the True Knot, a group that hunts children with the shine because their suffering produces steam that keeps the group alive. They pin him down. He screams. Rose watches calmly. Man, that scene is brutal because Rose stays so calm. Her next move reveals why the true knot never shows mercy. Rose inhales the steam released by Baseball Boy's agony while the others feed beside her. Later, she targets Abra Stone after sensing an even stronger source of steam. Rose never treats suffering as cruelty. To her, it's survival. Compassion disappears once survival depends on someone else's pain. The next horror does not hunt children. It begins when cruelty finally breaks one. Carrie White. One cruel prank turns an unforgettable night into absolute horror. Nobody inside the gym sees what's about to follow. Chamberlain, Maine. Shy teenager Carrie White finally experiences acceptance after years of bullying and her mother's fanatical control. Prom night feels like a fresh beginning. Carrie is crowned prom queen. The bucket tips. Pig's blood crashes down. Even now, that sudden silence feels almost unbearable. Nobody expects what Carrie does next. Carrie seals the exits, unleashes her telekinetic powers, and engulfs the gym in flames before returning home to confront her mother. Years of humiliation finally erupt, turning one broken moment into unimaginable destruction. Cruelty often creates the very tragedy it fears most. Small objects can carry enormous damage. The next one only needs to start playing. The monkey. Nobody has to touch the monkey to fear it. They only have to hear it start playing. As children, twin brothers Hal and Bill find their father's old wind-up monkey and discover its deadly curse. Whenever its drum begins to beat, another impossible accident is already unfolding. The key turns, the drum starts, then everything stops. That sound alone is enough to make your stomach drop. Only now does the curse prove nobody gets to choose the victim. At a hibachi restaurant, their babysitter Annie is suddenly decapitated in a horrifying chain of events, while the monkey sits silently, untouched. The monkey never hunts its victims. Fate does the hunting for it. Some curses keep killing long after people stop believing they're real. Fear spreads faster with a preacher's voice. Desperate people follow the loudest believer. Mrs. Carmody. The monsters outside never break the survivors first. One woman's words do. Bridgeton, Maine. After a storm, shoppers become trapped inside a supermarket while mist swallows the town. Mrs. Carmody insists the disaster is God's punishment, and survivors begin believing every word she says. Whispers spread, prayers begin. You can feel the room choosing panic over reason. Nobody expects the deadliest threat to rise from inside the store.
A human sacrifice must come.
Her followers seize Billy and Amanda, convinced their sacrifice will earn salvation. But before they can act, Ollie Weeks shoots Mrs. Carmody, breaking her hold over the crowd. Mrs. Carmody never needed supernatural powers because fear did the persuading for her. Conviction can become deadlier than the monsters outside. Here, fear needs a crowd to become dangerous. The next horror only needs teeth. Cujo. The monster in this story begins as a family dog. One bite turns loyalty into pure terror. Castle Rock, Maine. Donna Trenton drives Tad to the Camber farm, hoping Joe Camber can repair their Pinto. But Cujo has been bitten by a bat, and the infection slowly takes over. The car won't start. Cujo charges. The saddest part is knowing this was a gentle companion. Every failed escape leaves Donna with fewer choices. Cujo slams against the Pinto again and again, until Donna fights him with a baseball bat. But when he lunges again, she shoots him with Bannerman's gun. Rabies turns a faithful dog into a tragedy nobody can stop. The hardest monsters to face are often the ones that never chose evil. Darkness doesn't always wait inside abandoned houses. Sometimes it arrives after someone quietly opens the door. Kurt Barlow. Jerusalem's lot doesn't disappear overnight. It vanishes one family at a time. Jerusalem's Lot, Maine. Writer Ben Mears returns home just as unexplained disappearances spread across town. Ralphie disappears first. Danny comes back wrong. Then the town begins opening its windows after dark. Children return after dark. Windows open. The town changes. That slow takeover is exactly what makes Barlow scary. Then one open window turns the whole town vulnerable. Barlow's influence spreads through the town as familiar faces return hungry, and more families join the growing army of vampires before anyone understands what's happening. Barlow never rushes because an entire town slowly becomes his hunting ground. The quietest evil often leaves the deepest scars. Some engines don't need fuel to keep running. They only need someone willing to turn the key. Christine. Christine looks like a car waiting to be chosen. She is already choosing Arnie. Rockbridge, California. Arnie Cunningham buys a battered 1958 Plymouth Fury from George LeBay, believing he can restore it. The glass repairs. The metal straightens. Arnie changes too. Watching Christine rebuild herself never stops feeling wrong because Arnie keeps slipping further away. Then Christine proves Arnie was never really driving. Christine hunts Buddy's gang without anyone behind the wheel. She repairs every dent after each attack until Dennis and Lee crush her at Darnell's garage. Even then, the wreck refuses to feel completely lifeless. Christine never wanted a driver. She wanted complete control, slowly replacing Arnie's identity with an obsession that consumed everything he loved. Some possessions never truly end. They only find another owner.